Today we're gonna turn this into this. Oh wait, that's the wrong format. I mean into this. Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm walking you through my process of developing color negative film. For most film shooters, it's about getting the images and the style out of these tiny canisters. But for me, it's about the entire process of shooting the film, develop it here at home, and then scan it to see the full result. So I'm gonna break this video down in a couple of steps. First, how to get the leader out of this film, then walking you through the equipment you need to develop film, and thirdly, I'm gonna show you the entire process of developing film with the chemistry. Before we get started, let's talk a little bit about the gear that we need to develop film. There are a few things that are essential to developing film. First and foremost, of course, is the chemistry. I got mine here from my local film lab. It's not an endorsement or anything. With this kit, you get a couple of things. You get the developer, you get the bleach, the fixer, and the stabilizer. There are other kits where you can mix the bleach and the fixer together to get the so-called Blix, which is one step less in order to get your film processed. But my preferred method is to develop, bleach it, and fix it separately, and then in the end, wash the film. Secondly, what you need is a developing tank. I got mine from a brand called Jooo. It's the Unitank 1520, and you can develop up to two 135mm film or two 120 film at the same time in this tiny tank. There are also other brands like Patterson that make similar things, but one of the reasons why I chose Jooo tanks is that you can do both methods of inversion or rotary processing. So inversion processing is when you invert the tank like this, and rotary processing is when you lay down the tank and then you roll it from one side to the other side. Both processes have their pros and cons, but I stick to rotary processing. For one, it uses less chemistry. So if you look at the side of the Jooo tank, you see how many chemistry you need for inversion process or for rotary processing. And with rotary processing, I only use 240 milliliters of chemistry. So with a chemistry kit like this, the chemistry lasts me way longer than when I do inversion technique. Secondly, you need reels to put your film on. These reels usually come when you buy the developing tank. Now with my Jooo tank, it only came with one of these reels, so I had to buy a second one. And one of the big benefits of these reels is you can change it from 35mm film to develop 120 film. So you twist it here, and then you're gonna change the size depending on what you want to develop, 135 or 120 film. And then you can stack them on top of each other so they fit into the tank. And that way you can develop two 135mm film. Another very essential thing of developing color negative film is the temperature. C-41 chemistry, or the chemistry for color negative film, is really sensitive to temperature changes. So in order to mitigate that, you need a way to have consistent temperature with your chemistry, and in the best case you have a machine that agitates your film and keeps the temperature at a certain level. But for home developing and for cost saving, you can also get something called a Sous-vide. It's this kitchen tool here where you can keep the temperature at a certain level, and you can change the temperature with this dial, and that way I can keep my chemistry at the perfect temperature of 38 degrees Celsius. And other than that, you need a couple of miscellaneous things like chemistry bottles, a thermometer, gloves, measuring cups, these things here, a changing bag and scissors. And that's all about it from the gear section. Let's move on how to get the film out of the canister. So if you haven't seen, I have a YouTube short about how to get the film leader out of the canister. But for those who are new to film, I'm gonna show you how I get the leader out of the film canister. So you're done shooting your film, and then you take out your film canister from a camera, but the leader is rolled into the canister. How do you take the leader out? There are a few different methods that you can do, but my preferred way is this tiny tool called a film picker. It's this tool here where you put these black tongues here into the film canister. Okay, like so. And then you have two tabs here, tab A and tab B, and you push in tab A, and then you roll your film more into the canister until you hear a click. Don't know if you heard it, but it clicked. Then I'm going to hold the film canister with my fingers here, and I'm pushing in the tongue B. Once tongue A and B on the front near the canister, I hold the canister on the side and simply pull out the film leader. And this, my friends, is how we can pull out the leader from the canister. Okay, next is how to prepare your film developing tank for developing the actual film. Once the film leader is out, you need to put the film onto one of these reels. And since the film leader has a cutaway on this side, we need to trim it so it fits better onto the reels. Once the film leader is prepared, we need to put everything into a changing bag. Why do we need to do that? Since film is sensitive to light, everything that is too long into light will turn out black once we develop it. This is a film strip that I developed earlier, and you can clearly see that this part on the top here is totally black, and you can see the line where the rest was in the canister, and everything that hasn't seen any light is translucent. So if you would pull out the film in broad daylight and put it onto the reels, all the light's gonna destroy the images that you took with your film camera. And that is why you need to put it into a changing bag where it's total darkness and put the film onto the reels in pitch darkness. I can't really show you the process with a real film, but I can demonstrate to you with this film strip what you need to do in order to put the film onto the reel. So as an example, I put the developed film strip into an empty canister. Put it in here, and once you're in the dark bag, you need to find the beginning of the film strip, and on the other hand you need to find the beginning of the reel. On the Jooo reel there's an indent on each side, so you can hold it like this, and then you have to feel with your finger where the beginning of the reel is, and these are these things here where you need to put the film here. So in the dark you need to use your film, take your leader and put it into the reel like this, okay? And once the film is onto the reel, you can hold the film on the indent and then you can start twisting the reel, and it should move the film forward bit by bit. Now, because it's a film strip, the empty canister just fell down, but I'm going to show you that if you move the reels just like this, that the film is going deeper and deeper into the reel. But I'm going to show you if you hold the reel like this and then do this movement. It's really hard to see, but the film is moving more and more and deeper into the reel until it's really deep into the reel and you feel that the end of the film is coming. So at one point you feel that the film won't come out any further. Then you need to cut the film at the end of the canister. I'm going to show you another example of an empty canister. This is the end of the film where I cut the film right here in the darkness. And the way I do it is I hold the film canister in between two fingers and then cut above my fingers here. Once you cut your film, the film canister should fall down into the changing bag, and then you can put your film reels onto one of these things here, just like this. And then again in the darkness, you can put the film reel into the canister and close it up. Now with the Jooo reel, make sure it makes a clicking sound so you know it's closed. And before taking it out of the changing bag, make sure that the lid is securely on the canister. So that way nothing's gonna fall out during the chemical process. Alright, next film, let's go to the kitchen and prepare the chemicals so we can start developing. Alright, we're in the kitchen now and I'll show you the preparation before we start developing. So first things first, we're gonna fill in water into a container and let it heat up to 38 degrees Celsius. So by the time we mix all the chemicals, the container is heated up properly. So we're gonna fill in the water right now, right about here. Then we put in the sous-vide, just like so. So it's already set to 38 degrees and I'm gonna start it. So if we look down below, you see the water's already moving. And if we go back up, you can see the current temperature is at 41.1 degrees. So it's still too hot, but we give it some time to adjust to 38 degrees. So in the meantime, we're gonna mix up all the chemicals. Like with the developer here, it's a 260 milliliter container with developed liquid, but you have to dilute it with 740 milliliters to get a 1 liter working solution. Same with the fixer here, it contains 500 milliliters of fixer and you have to dilute it with 500 milliliters of water to get a 1 liter solution. The only thing in the kit here that you don't have to dilute is the bleach. It's a working solution already, it's a 1 liter bottle that's ready to go. And since my Jooo tank only needs 240 milliliters of chemicals, I'm gonna break down all of the chemicals into a quarter of it so I get 250 milliliters of working solution. So we're gonna speed this process up. You're gonna see a time lapse of me mixing all the chemicals. So right now everything looks okay. The water is at 38 degrees. We have the developer here, the bleach and the fixer. And then we're gonna mix the stabilizer off camera and we're gonna let them heat up at 38 degrees. All right, so now that the film is inside of the tank, you can start putting it into the water so that the developing tank can start to get to 38 degrees. So as mentioned, I do rotary processing. That's when I put on the developing tank on the surface. So I roll it back and forth. And you can do that without any extra machine, just by hand. And because the tank is slided a little bit upwards, it's not that consistent. So what I did is I constructed a DIY machine where I can put on the tank and it's perfectly leveled. I can simply roll the tank on this roller base here. And it's fairly consistent. And since I constructed this roller base here, I get pretty decent results with my developing. Okay, so let's put the developing container into the water bath. So once everything is heated up, we can start the developing process. I always have the developing sheet here in the kitchen so I can look up the entire process and know on which step I am and at which temperature each of the chemicals should be. So let's go through the process in detail one by one. So the maker of this development kit mentioned if you don't have a temperature control system like a water bath where you can automatically agitate and keep the chemicals warm inside of the tank, it recommends you preheating the film to a certain degrees. So we're now at around 24 degrees of room temperature and it recommends 41 to 42 degrees of preheating for around 3 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm taking out the sous-vide of the water container here and put it into a second container and heat it up to 41 to 42 degrees. Let's let it heat up, and once it's heated up, it starts beeping. Right, so the temperature of the water is now 41.5 degrees and you can start pouring in the water and start timing for 3 minutes and put it on the roller base. I put the sous vide back into the water container and set it to 38 degrees to keep the chemicals at the right temperature. So now that everything is at the perfect temperature, we're gonna pour in the preheating water. All right. Okay. Put the lid on here. Gonna set the timer for 3 minutes. Put it on the roller base and we start rolling. So even in the preheating phase, I constantly roll the developing tank from one side to another side. It's around 8 to 10 times from one side to another side. And the reason why you should change directions is to avoid streaks on the film. And if you change directions, this should eliminate the streaks on the film base. 3 minutes are over. I open it and pour the water back. And now comes the crucial part, it's the developer. I'm going to switch the sous vide back to here, and my goal is to have a water source that is 38 degrees warm so we can wash in between the steps. So we're going to pour the developer in, and developer goes in for 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Alright, let's pour it in. Pour everything back in. Okay, put the lid on here, start the timer, then we can agitate. So now we almost finished with the 3 minutes and 15 seconds and we're gonna pour the chemicals back into the container because it's reusable and you can use it multiple times. Alright, 3 minutes and 15. So now we're going to the bleaching phase. I preheated the water so I can wash the developer and we can mitigate cross-contamination between the steps. I just wash it gently and also keep the temperature at 38 degrees. And then we pour in the bleach for 60 seconds. Start the timer now. Alright, again, we can reuse the bleach, so let's put it back into the container. Mitigate cross-contamination by washing in between the steps. So we're gonna pour in the fixer and set the timer to 1:30. So now, what you see now, I prepared the water for the washing phase, and for the washing phase I'm using the Ilford method, and I'm going to explain that when we get to this point. So the fixing phase is over. So now the film should be safe of taking out of the developing tank, but first we're gonna wash the film after the Ilford method. So the water temperature here is at 38 degrees. So the Ilford method, it's a way to save a little bit on water and still get clean results. The way you do it is you pour your water in and do 5 inversions and then dump the water, pour another batch of fresh water in it, do 10 inversions, then dump the water and then pour in the last batch of fresh water and invert it 20 times, and then your negatives should have been washed enough. Let's start that. In the first batch of 38 degrees warm water around here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dump the water in a fresh batch of water. Let's do 10 inversions this time. Pour in the last batch of fresh water. 20. And that should be enough. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to mix the stabilizer and then rotate it for 1 minute. So the stabilizer is now heated up and I put it in. Set the timer to 1 minute. Okay, so now that the stabilized minute is over, you can just dump the water and then you can open up the developing tank and take out your hard-earned film. Pull it out of the reel, and on first inspection, that's really good. It's good contrast. The markings on the sides are clear. And just pull it out. What I'm always doing is, because I have gloves on, I run my finger through it to disperse all the water from it. And then I'm gonna hang it in my office to dry. So here's the second one. This is also Color Plus. And also on first inspection, looks beautiful. So I've had dedicated place here in the office for letting hang dry my film and put on some weight on the bottom. As a last step of keeping my negatives clean, I'm using Kimtech Wipes. They are lint-free. Just fold it once, put it around the film, then just gently pull it down. Here's another one, just to make sure all the water droplets. Another day, another shirt. So the video is very long, but it was important to me to show you the entire process of developing a C-41 film. Now I'm just going to show you some of the results that I got from this batch of developed film. So I printed out a couple of them, and as far as I can tell, they look fantastic. Now I haven't touched the process of scanning the film and convert the film, but if you like this kind of long form tutorial videos, please leave a thumbs up on this video and comment down below. It really helps me to know what kind of content you want to see on this channel. Another topic that I didn't touch in this video is the prices for all the gear. So if you're interested to see of how much this gear will cost you, also just put down a comment down below. Alright guys, this video is already long enough. If you watch all the way until here, thank you very much. I really appreciate your attention and your time spending on this video. I hope this video will help you on your journey of developing your first C-41 negative film. And other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I see you all next time.